In Argentina, you can only buy $200 US worth of currency each month out of your bank account. Now, why would the Argentinians be doing this? Because their currency has lost half of its value in the last year. And by my estimations, the US dollar has lost half of its value since the 90s. The reason I say this is because certain energy costs, and if we just take a Snickers bar for an example, if you look at what's in a Snickers bar, the chocolate, the peanuts, and so on and so forth, those items are not that much harder to source now than they would have been in the 90s to source. So, used to be 50 cents, now it's $1. I'd essentially say that the US dollar's lost half of its value. Argentinian peso has lost half of its value in the last year. Now, the most extreme examples of hyperinflation have obviously been in Zimbabwe and a few other isolated situations. But all fiat currencies suffer from the same effect, inflation to some respects. So while, Bitcoin and Litecoin pay miners in an inflationary method over time, it is deflationary for the block reward and all that. And there's the limited supply. And so what's going on in Argentina? Well, they were flocking to the US dollar. Now they're flocking harder to Bitcoin. So when these countries do this, people will find a way, and the solution is cryptocurrencies. So LocalBitcoins volumes in Argentina have been going parabolic. And we'll continue to see this, obviously, in the countries where hyperinflation is the worst, and then we'll ultimately see it in the quote-unquote first world countries with more stable currencies, US dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, British pound, that kind of stuff. You'll see it more and more as time goes on. The cryptocurrency global takeover is in effect. It's a slower effect, but then one day there's just going to be this flippening, so to speak, where it is going to just take over in one form or another, whether that's Bitcoin or whether that's Ethereum, or whether that's I know somebody's going to get on me, Ether, whether that's EOS, whether it's Litecoin, whether it's Digibyte, whether it's whatever. There will be a flippening at some point where people are going to want those currencies more than they're going to want their fiat currencies. And obviously that's already happening in a lot of these countries, and the government tries to clinch up and put more controls on that and try to stop people from doing it. But you're not gonna essentially stop it. Now the value in a situation with cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies and things like Libra and other things like XRP and all these kind of different solutions is there's more competition. So to attract people to that form of money, you're going to have to provide a better solution. So I think that it is ultimately good for the world economy, and the fact that government currencies have a very, very formidable competitor now with cryptocurrencies and some of these corporate backed solutions, like we see with Libra, which we'll see if that ever gets off the ground. I think it will to some capacity. Now, it might be not their original plan. They might have to decentralize it more, which would be nice. But we'll ultimately see, at the end of the day, you can see signs of the cryptocurrency global takeover, in these stories throughout time, like what's happening in Argentina right now. In 2013, around a little bit actually before I originally got into Bitcoin, we had Cyprus, and they stole from their citizens, essentially, took from their banking accounts and their savings accounts to bail themselves out. So they called it a bail-in, and that really surged the price of Bitcoin at that time in early 2013. And throughout time, we're going to see more things like that happen. And when we enter the next recession, whenever that's going to be, I think that is going to be kind of the undoing for some of these fiat currencies, and people will run to cryptocurrencies, at least the strong ones. So at the end of the day, there's only a certain amount of Bitcoins, there's only a certain amount of Litecoins, and even if money ends up being the ultimate, application for cryptocurrencies or blockchain technology, it is a very, very powerful one. It's the most powerful thing a government can do is create a currency, and so it will proliferate. There's really no way to stopping it, essentially, and stamping it out. And we all know that. That's why you guys are watching this. But just wanted to tell you what's going on in Argentina. And if anybody's watching from Argentina, shout out in the comments below. Tell us what's been your personal experience down there. Anyway, guys, follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steemit, Twitter. See ya.